One day we will be able to scientifically recognize, understand, analyze, measure, and even make visible the rays or waves of which your eternal individuality consists, just like the invisible, for a long time unknown X-rays. In physics, spectral analysis makes it possible to recognize from the radiation of an object, for example, a distant celestial body, the elements of which it is composed. The subtle matter of your fiery body as well has its own very special radiation, the aura. From it, one can infallibly read the true inner being of a person. To put it scientifically, you can determine the elements, the high and the low vibrating particles of which your being of light is composed. Human radiations can be seen by the naked eye. We can cite many cases in which people emitted radiation when in a transport of exaltation. People can sometimes notice an unusual light in the eyes of one who is in a state of so-called inspiration. The eyes shine not from any outside source, but from an inner fire. In the future, aura photography will make these radiations not only noticeable for the heart, but even visible to the physical eye. Is it possible to want to have false thoughts? When the day of photographing the aura comes, many will attempt to replace their habitual thoughts with something more beautiful, just invented. Indeed, people know how to shed simulated tears. Petty, cunning individuals will try to conceal their essential natures, but the film will prove to be quite revealing. A remarkable experiment will take place. Hypocritical thought will only make the picture worse, spattering it, as it were, with dark spots. Thus, new cunning will not be successful. Sincere, inherent thought produces clear rays. The needed sacred aspirations will have clear colors. It is possible to carry out many observations of radiations. It can be proven that over and above the radiations that are accessible even to photography, there exist still more subtle light waves that can be detected by a more refined apparatus. Then the body of light and its composition will cease to be something mystical or occult. The fiery state, with its wonderful aura, will then be also scientifically verifiable. Let us now go back from theory to practice. As everywhere else, the exercise fiery condition comes down to one thing only. The man of the future must acquire higher qualities, such as purity, power, and joy. We are now going to take a closer look at them. Abstract discussions are of no value. You will only benefit from what we are discussing here if you make the living experience. In the moment of the fiery condition, you have actually overcome the animal needs, desires, and moods of your lower self. You have no appetite, no cravings for sexuality, alcohol, tobacco, or sweets. You are no longer subject to moods such as irritation, depression, fear, aggressiveness, or doubt. How does this miraculous transformation come about? It is not that wonderful at all, but quite natural. A man of spirit, in contrast to a material being, is a creature of high vibration. Therefore, by its very nature, it has no physical desires and no moods. If you experience appetite or fear, this is only because your vibration is low. Then you turn back from a spiritual to a physical being, from vapor to ice. Scientifically speaking, purity means the absence of low vibrating particles in your being of light. In a state of high vibration, you are immune, unresponsive to. Your eternal being does not reverberate on lower instincts, thoughts, or feelings. Like in a church or a concert hall, they do not even come up. There is no soundboard within you for low vibrations. It is of no avail to use force against you yourself or others. It is better to experience that purity is the natural, wonderful, and brilliant condition of your soul. Then you will strive of your own accord to avoid anything that makes you fall off this lofty position. This must not remain abstract. Feel how you are pure at a high and unclean at a low vibration. You did already notice it is difficult with the help of discipline and training the will to get rid of those qualities which stand in the way of spiritual growth and establish higher habits. Today we propose a simpler path. You put your being into a state of purity, vitality, and joy of being, in which that what is commonly called lower wishes does not even arise, without your having to waste even a thought on their oppression. In the fiery condition, without discipline or command of the will, you really desire only that what your higher self wants. People dream about their stomachs when their spirits should be filled with the grandeur of the highest. Do not strive to get rid of desires, but rather to maintain a state of high vibration. Then the desires will disappear by themselves. The fiery state drives away temptations, desires, and despondency. At a high vibration, they disappear. Nobody will crave for chocolate or feel sad while enjoying the pleasures of paradise. Fire burns away the habits of the lower self. Each higher tremor is in itself a victory over the flesh. Can you give us a specific example? Yes, Gandhi made many experiments to elevate his being through spiritual power. One of them was, in order to prove that you can overcome even such a strong and elementary feeling as sexuality, he spent the night naked in bed with a naked young girl, usually a disciple. Because his spirit was in a fiery state, his body did not express any desire either. Have you tried that too? Well, that fails because of my wife's resistance. Gandhi as well only practiced this after the death of his wife. Purity has another aspect. In the fiery condition, you are not affected by the terrible conditions in the world around you, by all the indolence, ignorance, injustice, selfishness, malice, greed, and violence. A being of spirit is not concerned about material circumstances, such as the weather, misfortune, illness, death, weakness of the body, imperfection of others, attacks, insults, adverse conditions, suffering, need, failure of plans and hopes, disappointments about people, poverty, moods, and so on. Your eternal individuality lives in the world of the soul. Nothing that happens on the material plane can harm it. You are standing above the situation, above everything that is happening down there and trying to approach you. You are a great Lord to whom nothing inferior can possibly draw near. His spiritual growth must be such that he surpasses all those turning to him. You are like the lotus that blooms in the middle of a swamp, but from which all the dirt drips off. The fiery condition is a panacea against every kind of hardship, suffering, depression, grief, whining and moaning. Just get in the habit of fighting these attacks, not with physical means, such as frustration eating, alcohol, distractions or debauchery, but with the spiritual exercise of raising your vibration. There is only one panacea, the uplifted consciousness. There were those among the disciples and followers whose lives were filled with misery and daily hardship. The teacher, Jesus, would first help them by uplifting their spirits, and only when balance was established would he discuss their problems. Fieriness means any personal concern is eliminated. Whatever happens to you, you are not angry, insulted, hurt, disappointed, or irritated. The rider is unimpressed when his donkey is hurt. You think, all this is none of my business. I have nothing to do with that. This is as if a stranger were suffering. You do not let yourself be drawn into the situation or be dragged down by it. Do you wish to say that the new man closes his eyes and overlooks all the terrible events in the world? No, he sees and feels all the suffering, imperfection and egotism, even more than others, because he is particularly sensitive. But he will not allow all this to bring him out of his balance, that is, of his sublime state of high vibration. An ignorant person will be puzzled about how to overcome feelings of cold or hunger. The one who understands the essence of things knows that these sensations cannot be made to disappear, but the spirit can be strengthened so that nothing will unsettle it. Feariness, in the sense of purity, also means desirelessness. You do not need anything. You do not want anything. You do not expect anything. You are satisfied with what you have. You are wishlessly, that is, perfectly happy. Unfulfilled wishes torment you and stand in the way of the highest state of happiness. Desirelessness leads to inner calm. The pure nature of a fiery being also includes selflessness. You are not asking anything for yourself. Selfishness has no place in a flaming heart. It was said long ago that selfhood is extinguished by fire. We had already talked about this topic in the broadcasting on selflessness. Aren't there sub-elements of egoism in the state of ecstasy and the state of samadhi? An ignoramus will ask. But then, how could he know that this supreme state not only has none of the characteristics of egoism, but is entirely antithetical to it? How could someone who has never known the highest tension realize that precisely such tension conveys the power of lofty grace for the common good? Nothing generates such pure self-renunciation as a heart brimming with ecstasy. Do you really mean to say, I create the fury state, and then, from one instant to the other, and for all times, I will be pure, like an angel? No, of course it is not that simple. With a high frequency of vibration, you actually are pure like an angel. The problem is, you cannot keep this sublime state of mind for long. Whenever you go out into the world, you will soon encounter some tiny little trifle which lowers your vibration. The great difficulty is not so much to establish the fury condition, but to preserve it unimpaired in the course of everyday life. We shall talk about that in a moment.